African American men and African American women are programmed to hate each other. They're programmed to dislike each other. They are programmed to not want to be together. I know this topic is going to get me unpersoned, trolled. It's gonna put a target on my back by both sides, but I've been trying to think about a topic to talk about on YouTube. And this one lately has been feeling like the most important topic. The most important topic because me being a black man and growing up with nothing but black African American people here in America, most mainly in California. And the reason why I believe this is not only from experience, especially more recently, my experience, because I recently moved out to Oklahoma, and in the work that I do, I deal closely with all ages, shapes and sizes, male and female, white, black, don't really matter. I'm dealing with a lot of people on a daily basis, so I have a good idea on based on my interactions with people, that I've come to the conclusion that black men and women are programmed to not just pretty much not want to mess with each other. And I want to go over one point is you see it all over the internet. It's a big niche, and it's there's a lot of entertainment online dedicated to the discussion of black men and black women, the beef that they have against each other. And it's just like, it's just never ending. It's never ending amounts of content. Like you'll die old person if you were to try and go through everything, every topic that everyone's talking about, when it comes to dating, relationships, even politics, marriage. It seems no matter what the topic is, like when it comes to black men and black women, there's never really any agreeing on anything. Black folks can't come together in America because there's always going to be something. Now, if you're able to find a black person you love here in America, then good for you. Because the bottom line is, like, there are a lot of black folks in America who are programmed. And what I mean by program, I mean they have they have a belief system, not necessarily a belief system, somewhat of a, I don't even know how to say it. Black folks have a form of thinking that has been drilled into their minds. I'd say more along the lines of more women have that potential thinking rather than men, but a lot of men have it because they didn't have men to tell them right from wrong. Me in particular, all I had was my uncle, but my uncle did the best he could. I didn't really start going to my uncle as much until I hit early 20s, maybe 20, 21. And I'm doing this video because I feel like the whole discussion of black men and black women is going nowhere. The whole discussion on black men and black women not coming together and building wealth together, building better communities. There's a whole discussion on single moms having multiple fathers. Like, they can't seem to get a grasp on that either. There's a lot of women who are saying independent online when it comes to, even though it more along the lines is a Western problem with Western women, with the whole feminism. I don't know how I'm gonna word that, but black folks just seem like they just have an invisible barrier around each other that keeps them from being able to interact. And I ain't gonna go too deep on my experiences, but I do have a lot of times where I talk to the women in my family about like younger cousins, cousins who moved out of state, up north, down south, like cousins everywhere. And I noticed, especially like lately, I've been getting a lot of negative comments about cousins that ain't necessarily doing bad. They out, they doing their thing, they living on their own, they got their own place. But when I ask the women in my family about how other cousins are doing, be it male, say for instance, I asked a relative of mine how she's a female, and I asked her how my male cousin was doing, and she had nothing but negative stuff to say, talking about he out in this area, he need to get a job, he need to do this and that. And it's just like, I was thinking to myself, where did all that come from? All I did was ask you how they was doing, and are they down bad? Like, what's going on? It's just like, and she's like, no, like, he ain't down bad. It's just like he need to get a job. Like, where all that animosity come from? It's just like black folks will even talk like that about their families. And so, that being said, like, she implied that he was doing bad, but he was actually doing all right. And one of the comments she made is that if he was to do bad, he still had his mama to go back to. And I was like, is he going back to his mom? Like, he ain't going back to his mama, and that ain't never happened before. I was just like, why would you make the comment? And it's just like, it was just a lot of negative talking. It's just like black folks would do it with their family, and they don't. It's an unconscious thing that they do. It's unconscious, and they don't even know they doing it half the time. You got to point it out to them. And But I want to start by talking about, like, yeah, the some of it is unconscious and they don't even know it. That's one of the big reasons why I'm saying, like, they really are, a lot of black folks are programmed that way. They programmed to unconsciously, not even knowing it, treat the other in a certain way. And I think a lot of the programming has come from television, daytime television, movies, social media. Social media is a big one, for men and women. Social media got it bad. Music, the music industry, that's a big one that's programming men and women how to treat each other. These black love movies that people tell them, oh, this good, this movie is good. I keep hearing The Color Purple is good. Why does something so traumatic and evil have to be good? Let me see. Yeah, social media, movies, the music, all of it is programming black folks how to treat each other, and we have no control on any of those things. We have no control, like, what movies get put out. We have no control over what gets posted on social media. We definitely don't have control on what anybody else sees or anything, but we do have control over what we ingest. I seen a video of the other day about a woman who was pointing out that one black woman will talk about, like, how she was cheated on, and other black women around her will say that, yeah, all the rest of these dudes ain't nothing. All they do is cheat. And she would join in, and she would join in with them and say, yeah, all these dudes do is cheat. And she realized that she ain't never been cheated on. It's people are internalizing someone else's trauma, and it's like when you're watching movies, you're listening to certain music, you're internalizing trauma that's necessarily manufactured. It's manufactured trauma, and a lot of the things that black folks are ingesting, music, movies, social media, it's all a lot of it. Let's say 90%. I'll go as far as to say 80% of the things people consume is manufactured. Even food, from the movies, social media, it's all contributing to the programming of black folks. And in turn, when black folks come together, when black folks try to build together, when black folks try to make a life together, it ends up failing because of the manufactured trauma that they are internalizing. Pretty much the program that has been put in place is keeping black folks from being able to cooperate. I think that's the bottom line of it. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of a little bit more in detail why the program has. So the second part, as to which is probably going to be more controversial, which is why I'm adding it to this video, is the idea that The Willie Lynch letter is a methodology for creating and maintaining slaves. For those of you who don't really know Willie Lynch, I advise you to go look and do your research on Willie Lynch and the practices. Whether or not this is true or not isn't really, whether or not it's real or not isn't really the main focus. The focus is if Hollywood is actually doing this in real time, because certain people cannot differentiate between the subconscious and what is real. If they're doing and manipulating the movies, the media, the social media with the algorithms, all to give people a certain perspective, I think that is what people need to focus on with this video necessarily. If your subconscious mind believes it, then it is real to you. Because we may not be physically being attacked or forced to be slaves, if you can subconsciously attack the individual psyche, that can be another way to turn someone into a slave, almost like a indoctrination way. So I just want to read off an excerpt from a portion of the Willie Lynch letter that talks about how the black man and the black woman have to be portrayed in Hollywood. Now, whether it is true or not what Hollywood is doing, it's up to you to make your own decision. All right. So, 1, black man. He must not be seen as an alpha male. This is called in Hollywood the leading man. Though we may call him leading man and he can play a leading role, we must at some point submit to a high white authority, or we must feminize him. He must have been feminized at some point in his career to make it to leading man or to major role status. This would include a movie with him in a dress, showing his ass, kissing another man, submitting to white supremacy or subliminal feminization. They also must show him as needy and dependent. All slave traits manifested in him subliminally. Any of these things will do to line up with the Hollywood Willie Lynch agenda. So you think of all the male celebrities who made it to the top today and all the ones who didn't make it to the top. Can you make any can you deduce and understand what they had to go through based on this? Are there any correlations, especially with the whole including a movie with him in a dress, showing his ass, kissing another man? I think Will Smith did a few of those. Yeah. Submitting to a higher white authority. Is there anybody who has a career in Hollywood who hasn't had to do any of that? All right, moving on. 2, black woman. She must not be shown as a epitome of the feminine energy. She cannot be feminine, This role must always go to the white woman whenever she's presented as a beauty. There will always be a white woman of greater or equal beauty for her to live up to. We must never show her opposite a black leading male as an equal. Savage sex is okay, but showing her in love or making love is slim to none. We must at some point in her career show her as an independent woman. She can be the strong black independent woman with a weak or no good man. The man gotta be weak or no good or no man at all. Wow. This would include her in movies. We have to get to the next one. This would include her in a movie as a single mother with many kids who she tries to keep in school and out of jail. She'll have the I don't need no man attitude, playing opposite as the love interest with the white man, or maid, or whore. She can also help others find love. But remember, she can't have no man. Not no strong man. 3. Black couples. They must not be shown together as a synchronized, balanced couple in Hollywood. It's called the love story. We must never show them as a primordial couple in a movie, living happily ever after. We can show relationships between them if it involves grief, past baggage, problems, trials, tribulations, everyday struggle, and non-magical love. With this kind of love story, you walk out of the theater feeling not satisfied they will be together forever. Hollywood must maintain on screen the imbalance between the two, which was laid out in 1712 by Willie Lynch. If they do end up together in the end, you would have spent the entire movie going over their differences before you get to the basic, cheap ending. Now, with all that being read out aloud, with all that being said, can you think about everything that was just read and pick any movie you got in your head and say any black love movie, any movie about a black man or a black woman, and does it or does it not align with what was read? Pick a movie and ask yourself, like, is it right or is it wrong? I mean, that's the bottom line. The only thing that we have to do is just think about it. Because if this is true, black folks need to stop arguing and take a step back and start to understand, like, you're being manipulated. And some of us already know that, but do we know enough to stop the arguing? Some people don't know they're being manipulated. Some people do not know that they're being manipulated. Think about the whole ordeal with Simone Biles and her husband. Everybody was up in arms when I think they both agreed that he was the prize. We didn't necessarily hear Simone Biles. I think she did say something on her Twitter or something, but the idea that people tried to break them up because he said that he felt like he was the prize, even though I'd argue that the union between man and woman is the actual prize, because of what they can do together is better than what any individual can do. So that being said, people tried to break them up over that, but love conquers, and everything that the whole internet was trying to say about them fell on deaf ears. They didn't pay attention to none of that. all because they chose to ignore everything. She stayed feminine. The way she I think she posted pictures of her together with him like a few days later, and she couldn't be bothered. She couldn't be bothered with the whole world of social media hammering down on her and her relationship with the NFL star. You can't say that the world isn't trying to keep black folks apart. You can't really say, like, and people have to start taking a step back and talking about internalizing manufactured trauma that doesn't even belong to you. And I think black women are the biggest when it comes to that. But that's my take on that. I really do deep down feel like all the hate that black folks have with one another is manufactured, and also that what could these people have to possibly fear from black men and black women uniting? What could they possibly have feared? I think the black men, if black men and black women would be able to unite, it would probably be better for all of humanity, honestly. Positive images of black men and black women, that to me, that's definitely a better world. That's definitely a better world. Together, families, no single baby moms, no dudes in jail, dudes in dresses, just masculine men, feminine women working together to build a better community. Nothing better than that. That's my take on it.